Hi, Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and this is day 30 of the December daily draws. Let's see what message we get today. And I'll be taking the first card from the Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot, followed by an oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracles. Let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. We have the Winter Emperor. Interesting. This was part of the month ahead spread, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might actually be the only one that's come out, and this has come out twice. And this came out in the position of what to leave behind. And I think at the time it was taken to referring to a strict rigidity in our behavior and thinking and not being flexible enough. The card that we haven't yet, and we've got one more day to go, it could still come out, was what we take forward. Was the Six of Winter Wands. No, it wasn't. I didn't mean wands, I meant pentacles. The Six of Winter Pentacles. And that was about giving and receiving, the give and the take, contributing, and doing both giving and receiving. And a little bit of give and take is a little bit more flexible than what I see here in this image, with the rigid, stony, sort of, very stark mountains, and particularly in the icy landscape, where everything seems frozen and solid and immovable. So what I said when we did the month ahead spread was this card represented sort of inflexible ideas and thinking, and that we stuck to the usual, and that maybe we needed to move away from that rigidity and be open to evolving our thinking and our behavior and certain things, be open to new things, become a bit more flexible, a bit more give and take, as with the Six of Pentacles, and to be able to give ourselves more and also receive more. So it was going away from the harsh, perception that we have of perhaps our life and the world around us, of it being stark and cold and rigid and imposing, and all of that kind of feeling that we were getting from this image, and sort of like the shadowy aspects of the Emperor, that we needed to counter that in our own behavior and thoughts and actions, as the antidote for that, by being more flexible, less rigid, more giving, more generous, less being more compassionate, so that we're not less imposing and domineering, and we are perhaps a little bit more forgiving than this unforgiving landscape that we have here. So that's what I think we're being reminded of, and it's bringing back to mind that as we draw to the close of this month and this year, that as we look forward, to be a bit more open-minded, a little bit more flexible, and a bit more adaptable as well. But yes, there is the aspect of the emperor that is good, of being able to put in structures, to put in systems, to put in plans, and organize things in a way to make things work effectively. And maybe there are ways that we can look to do that in the coming year, to be a bit more organized, or at least let the energy flow a bit more efficiently, to put methods and things in place and routines in place that will perhaps enable us to be a bit more efficient and effective in what we do. Maybe we haven't been enough of that. So the positive side to that may still need to come in. We talked about the negatives of rigidity and domineering, and the cold harshness, and the unrelenting sort of atmosphere that this card represents. But there's that aspect, the positive aspects too, of organization and structure, and creating effective systems, and built in a way to, the technicalities of building something in our lives, that takes planning and takes thinking out. We need to think of the overall picture, the blueprint that we follow, working out the details of that blueprint that we follow. So there's that aspect of it too, that we may need to be a bit more of. But it may not come naturally to us, but we can at least, if we can do it more than what we're doing it now, we don't need to be perfect at it, but bring it just a little bit in, just have to be a lot. And of course, we still need that adaptability and ability to adjust and not stick rigidly too much to it when we need to evolve with the circumstances. So that's what we also need to bear in mind. We still need to have that adaptability as we move forward. So as we close out this month, this year, and look ahead, yes, we can make plans, we can put things in place that will give us a better, more effective routine in our daily lives, and for what we're about, and what we desire to achieve. But let's not be too rigidly attached to that we don't know when to readjust and evolve those ways when the need arises. So adaptability, flexibility in our organizational abilities and our daily routines. Okay, let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Forest. And the path winding through. Our path is not necessarily going to be a straight one. And we will have to pass through all kinds of, wide open spaces, and indeed, things where we've got other trees around us, and sometimes we can't see the woods for the trees because, we need perspective. We can see the forest here, but if we were in the forest, all we would see is trees around us, but not the whole forest. And the something that the Emperor's good at is getting that wider perspective, that overview, where he can see, we don't, sometimes we can get too much caught up in the details. We don't see the whole, how it fits in with each detail fits into the whole picture. Whereas what she's doing here, she's taking a step here, or where, she's putting some distance, and she can see the forest as a whole. If she was flying through the forest, she wouldn't see that perspective. And the Emperor's very good at that overview. And maybe that's what the element of the Emperor that we may need, to be able to see how what we're doing and all the details fit together. Because sometimes that's key. Sometimes if we get caught up in a certain detail, and if we're not aware of how it fits into the whole thing, we get lost in that. So that's what I would suggest that these cards are saying to us. Keep in mind the bigger picture and where each detail fits in. But be adaptable, because it won't be a straight route. It will wind and turn each way and that. So we have to be flexible too, as I've just said. So flexibility, wider perspective, the overview, and a little bit of order in our routines to bring a little bit of effectiveness and efficiency in what we're doing, but still keeping that adaptability and flexibility as well. And that, I believe, is the message of the cards today. Okay, so that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 31. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.